16 years later, the Celtics finally lifted their long-awaited 18th championship trophy. Looking back at their history, it's clear that achieving this goal was no easy feat. Interestingly, in the eyes of many fans, the biggest contributor to the Celtics championship wasn't the players, led by the dynamic duo of Tatum and Brown, but rather the Celtics mastermind, Coach Brad Stevens. Since taking over in 2021, Stevens has executed a series of brilliant moves that gradually transformed the team into the championship-winning squad they are today. Moreover, the Celtics are poised to remain strong contenders for at least the next 2 years. After winning the title, fans even began referring to Stevens as the modern-day Auerbach of the Celtics. In this edition, we'll dive deep into Coach Stevens' masterclass in team building over the past few years. Before we dive into Stevens' moves, it's important to understand the most challenging tasks an NBA general manager faces. 1. Maximizing returns with minimal assets, such as trading a group of fringe players for a key championship piece or swapping expiring contracts for draft picks. 2. Accurately predicting a player's development and potential, showcasing an almost clairvoyant ability to make precise, calculated moves. 3. Maintaining first-round picks even when going all in, ensuring the team has a chance to rebuild if things don't pan out. If a GM can successfully achieve even one of these tasks, they're considered exceptional. But Stevens has managed to accomplish all of them over the past few years, which is truly astonishing. We can break down Stevens' moves using these key points. Stevens' team-building philosophy is actually quite straightforward. Build a two-way lineup around the dynamic duo of Tatum and Brown. Shortly after taking the reins, he traded Kemba Walker and a 2021 first-round pick to the Thunder in exchange for Al Horford and Moses Brown. At the time, this trade was met with skepticism. While Walker had struggled in the playoffs, he was still the team's best defensive point guard and a recent all-star. On the other hand, Horford was nearing 35 years old. His only standout skill as a big man was his three-point shooting, leading many to question his energy and age. This seemingly lopsided trade exemplifies the second key point: Stevens' almost a clairvoyant ability to predict player development. As it turned out, Stevens' faith in Horford was well-placed. The Celtics managed to rejuvenate Horford, who became the team's most reliable stretch five in the playoffs, especially after Porzingis got injured. By sacrificing a first-round pick, Stevens acquired a crucial piece of the championship puzzle. Moses Brown, who was part of that trade, didn't seem like much at the time, but he was soon traded to the Mavericks for Josh Richardson. Richardson, in turn, became a key asset in acquiring Derek White. The following season, Stevens traded Richardson, Langford, and a 2022 first-round pick to the Spurs for White. Now, if you're noticing a pattern here, you're spot on. Stevens essentially turned Kemba Walker and 2 late first-round picks into Horford and White, 2 critical championship pieces. The trade for White, in particular, highlights Stevens' sharp eye for talent. At the time, White was shooting just 31.3% from 3 with the Spurs and hadn't yet reached his current all-defensive team level. But Stevens had the vision to buy low. Today, White's value is far beyond what a late first-round pick could fetch. In the same year, Stevens pulled off 2 moves that, while not directly impacting the championship win, were still impressive. First, he signed free agent Dennis Schroeder to a 1-year, $5.9 million deal. Mid-season, he traded Schroeder and Bruno Fernando to the Rockets for Daniel Tice. What's commendable is that these trades had a significant impact on the Celtics' performance at the time. However, when Stevens realized that neither player fit the profile of the two-way championship-caliber pieces the team needed, he wasted no time in trading them. Schroeder even got a tattoo of the Celtics logo, hoping to stay with the team, but Stevens made the tough decision to move him, a testament to the decisiveness required of a championship-level GM. That year, the Celtics made it to the NBA Finals for the first time in years. If it weren't for facing arguably the greatest Curry of all time, they might have achieved their goal 2 years earlier. However, this finals run clarified Stevens' vision. He realized that building around the Tatum-Brown duo was a viable strategy. If the duo wasn't yet ready to contend for a title, the solution was to significantly upgrade the supporting cast, the third, fourth, and fifth options, and give it another shot. In the 22-23 season, Stevens continued his strategic moves. He traded Tice, Nesmith, and a 2023 first-round pick to the Pacers for Malcolm Brogdon, who would become the team's best sixth man. That year, the Celtics took another step forward, finishing the regular season with a 57-25 record, their best since the 08-09 season. The team had excellent chemistry, and both the starting lineup and bench were deep. However, in the Eastern Conference Finals, the Celtics unexpectedly found themselves down 0-3. Despite the odds, they rallied to force a Game 7 against the Heat, but an early ankle injury to Tatum in Game 7 ended their run. The reality was that this Celtics team was stronger than the previous years. Their loss to the Heat was less about the roster and more about their mindset. But Stevens astutely recognized that while Brogdon was effective, he lacked the health and consistency necessary for a championship run. Moreover, if the powerful Nuggets were considered the main competition for the title, it was clear that the center position was lacking. Neither Robert Williams nor Horford could match up to Jokic's physicality. In this context, Stevens made a bold move in a three-team trade, sending Smart to the Grizzlies and Gallinari and Muscala to the Wizards, acquiring Porzingis and 2 future first-round picks. He then made another significant move, trading Brogdon, Robert Williams, the 2024 Warriors first-round pick, and a 2029 first-round pick to the Blazers in a 3-team deal, bringing in Jrue Holiday and 4 future second-round picks. With these moves, Stevens upgraded the core trio of Smart, Brogdon, and Robert Williams to Holiday and Porzingis. Additionally, thanks to the clever maneuvering in these 3-team trades, the Celtics' number of first-round picks remained unchanged, while their immediate championship potential was significantly enhanced. This is exactly what we mentioned as the third key point, going all in while still preserving first-round picks. In fact, the price Stevens paid to acquire Holiday and Porzingis was not insignificant. Smart was the team's primary perimeter defender and a DPOY, one of the league's top 3 and D players. His value could be compared to Bridges, who was traded to the Knicks for at least 3 first-round picks and is highly sought after. Brogdon, meanwhile, was a top-tier 6th man, offering a balanced game on both ends of the floor with no glaring weaknesses. In good health, he could easily fetch more than 1 first-round pick. Robert Williams was even more crucial. He was the Celtics' best rim protector and the main reason they could control the paint. In the playoffs, he was also the best defender against Adebayo, underscoring his importance. However, when these 3 players were exchanged for Holiday and Porzingis, it was all worth it. First, Holiday possesses all the skills of both Brogdon and Smart. He can initiate offense from anywhere on the court like Brogdon, and he offers DPOY-level defense. In fact, when it comes to perimeter defense, Holiday's track record suggests he may even surpass Smart. By acquiring Holiday, Stevens executed his strategy to significantly upgrade the team's third-best player. Porzingis' addition, on the other hand, greatly enhanced the team's fourth-best player, or even their third option during the regular season. He not only provides the rim protection that Robert Williams offered but also adds a floor-spacing ability that Williams lacked. His acquisition was clearly aimed at countering Jokic. Only someone with Porzingis' shooting ability could help neutralize Jokic's impact by spacing the floor. These 2 trades represent Stevens' most aggressive all-in moves. To make them happen, he was willing to part with the team's heart and soul in Smart, their only other playoff-caliber big in Robert Williams, and losing Brogdon significantly reduced the team's depth. But Stevens understood one crucial point. In the playoffs with shortened rotations, the top 6 players being able to outmatch the competition is what truly matters, making depth a secondary concern. After acquiring Holiday and Porzingis, Stevens finally completed the framework for his championship-contending roster. The team's top 5 players are all at least borderline all-stars, and their 6th man Horford is a quality starter. Moreover, all 6 players are excellent shooters and defenders, making the long-awaited 2-way, 5-out lineup a reality. In this scenario, the team only needs to fill the 7th and 8th spots in the rotation to run an 8-man lineup through the playoffs. Stevens' approach to this wasn't to spend more first-round picks for immediate help. Instead, he focused on finding gems among undrafted players, second-round picks, and through trades involving second-rounders. Hauser, Pritchard, and Tillman, who performed excellently in the finals by guarding Luka, were all playoff rotation players that Stevens acquired with minimal cost, yet their impact far exceeded expectations. After all these trades, a remarkable thing becomes apparent. Let's take a look at the Celtics' future first-round picks. From 2025 to 2030, the Celtics hold a total of 5 first-round picks. Among them, the 2025, 2027, and 2030 picks are fully their own, meaning they could even tank during these years if they chose to. The 2026 and 2028 picks, on the other hand, are either from other teams or are protected first-round picks. In simple terms, Stevens has won in the present without sacrificing the future. The operations that played a key role in the Celtics' championship victory are crucial to understanding Stevens' approach. Beyond achieving the 3 strategies mentioned earlier, his methods are also worth studying for other NBA general managers. For instance, using expiring contracts in sign-and-trade deals to acquire trade exceptions and second-round picks. A prime example is the trade of Grant Williams to the Mavericks, which was part of a 3-team deal. Stevens managed to turn a player he was already planning to move on from into a $6.2 million trade exception and 2 second-round picks. Another technique is the unlimited accumulation of second-round picks. In every trade, Stevens tries to acquire as many second-round picks as possible, and he often trades down to accumulate even more second-rounders. During this year's draft, the Celtics selected Marcus Sasser with the 25th pick, then traded him to the Pistons in exchange for the 31st pick and a future second-round pick. The Celtics then made another trade with the Hornets, sending the 31st pick to acquire the 34th and 39th picks. But they didn't stop there. The Celtics used the 34th pick to select Colby Jones, then traded him to the Kings for the 38th pick and another future second-round pick. In the end, the Celtics turned the 25th pick into the 38th and 39th picks this year, plus 2 future second-round picks. Although second-round picks are generally considered less valuable, they've always been valuable trade assets. And let's not forget, this year's draft was considered a weak class, meaning that the 25th pick was essentially worth what a second-round pick might be in a stronger draft year. When you closely examine Stevens' moves, you realize just how formidable this man is. Not only does he have a long-term vision and a keen eye for talent, but he also possesses a ruthless, iron-fisted approach, and so far, he has made very few mistakes. Many decisions that were initially criticized, like signing Jaylen Brown to the largest contract in history or fully backing rookie coach Mazzulla without hesitation, now seem entirely justified. So, is defeating this Celtics team really as simple as just winning games on the court?